If you dream of something brave, if you give your all just to keep a little bit faith, if you feel this taste around, if you don't be afraid that something can let you down, if you close your eyes and fly high, spread your wings above the sky.
Hi, I'm John Frasca, and this is Shannon Miles and Christine Gillis, and we're here today with Team Hoyt, and we got the opportunity to ask him a couple questions.
So our first question was, what was your inspiration to start running marathons?
What was my inspiration to start marathons and triathlons? Well, my son Rick. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be here today because he asked me to run in a race 34 years ago. And I was only 40 years old when he asked me to run the first race. What happened was Rick was attending a basketball game at Westfield State College. And they made an announcement that one of the lacrosse players from the college was in an accident. He was paralyzed from the waist down. So they're going to have a charity road race to help him raise some money so he could pay his medical bills. And Rick, who communicates with a computer, came home from that game and he told me all about it. And he said, "Dad, I have to do something for him. I want to let him know life goes on even though he's paralyzed. I want to run in the race." Well, at the time, I was 40 years old. I was not a runner. And that's all we had was a Mulholland wheelchair, which was prescription form fitted to Rick's body. And we had a hard time pushing him in it, never mind running in it. But we went down to the race. It was a 5-mile race, and they gave Rick and I the number 00, and a gun went off, and Rick and I took off with all the other runners. Well, everybody thought we'd go to the corner and turn around and come back. Well, we didn't. We finished the whole 5 miles, coming in next to last, but not last. And that's how we got started into running.
We also wanted to ask, what is the reach of Team Hoyt? How far do you travel when you're doing your marathons and things like that?
Well, Rick and I, right now we're traveling all over the world. We've done Ironman Canada. We've been over to Japan twice, where we competed in half Ironman triathlons over there. And when we got over to Japan, people who are physically challenged, they closet them in Japan. I understand they take good care of them, but you don't see them out in the public. And when Rick and I got back from doing the triathlons, they sent 2 of the biggest TV stations from Japan over and did documentaries on us. And now you see people that are physically challenged outside enjoying life the way they always should have been. Oh, we also traveled to Germany, and we've also traveled to El Salvador, and we go to Hawaii. We've been all over the place, and they want us to go over to China. So it's just amazing what's happening with our story, and the people want us to be there.
Yeah.
What other marathons have you run?
Well, let's see, we've run 80 marathons. We've done the Boston Marathon 31 times. We've done Lincoln, Nebraska. We've done the Marine Corps Marathon. And we've done marathons out in California. And we've also done marathons in Florida and also in Canada.
Out of all the marathons and all the things you've done, what was probably the most memorable moment for you?
The most memorable moment is to see all of the people in the world, excepting Rick, as a person who has the chance to live, learn, work, and play. And a lot of people, as disabled as Rick, most of the time they don't have it. Now because of Rick's efforts, they're starting to do it all over the world.
What was it like this past spring when you were running the Boston Marathon and the bombing occurred? And how did you feel about that?
Well, we were actually having a real good day. Actually, we were an hour ahead of last year's time running it. And we got to about the 23-mile marker, and I noticed a lot more police activity than usual. And so I stopped and asked the police officer, "Is there something going on?" And he said, "Yes, 2 bombs have exploded at the finish line." And to us, the marathon was all over because we had 32 people running for our foundation, and all of their families and my family were all sitting in the bleachers at the finish line. And the bomb actually did explode right in front of them, but fortunately it was across the street, so none of them got injured. And we were very fortunate that all our runners were well and all of the families were well. So we were very lucky.
Do you ever plan to stop running the Boston Marathon?
Yes, this is going to be our last Boston Marathon. Last year was supposed to be our last Boston Marathon, but we're going to run in honor of all the people who got killed and injured from last year, and then this will be it. We will still be competing, but we're not going to be doing any more Ironman triathlons and marathons. It'll be like half marathons and Olympic distance triathlon, stuff like that.
How do you prepare for every single one of these triathlons and marathons you run?
Well, you know, actually Rick and I, we are prepared just about all year round to compete and do different athletic events. We keep ourselves in shape, so if we do get a phone call or something that we're able to do, that we're able to go out and run a marathon or do a triathlon.
What other things do you do together besides marathons as father and son?
Well, we go to movies together, we go out to dinner together. I have 2 other sons, and we get together with the sons and do different activities with them. And also I have 4 grandsons, so we get involved with them. And we go to a lot of dinners and movies and theaters and stuff like that, just about everything that anybody else does.
Yep.
What is the overall message that you would want to give to the students?
Our message is, yes, you can. There isn't anything you can't do as long as you make up your mind to do it. And there's no such word as no in the Hoyt vocabulary. It's yes, you can.
Where have you spoken, like all over the world? Like, where have you gone to speak to people?
Well, we've gone up to Canada, we've gone to Germany, we've gone to Japan, we've gone to El Salvador. We've been it's just about every state in the United States. It's just amazing the amount of speaking engagements. We can't handle them all. There's so many people that are after us that go and do speaking engagements. It's really great, because when Rick was born, they wouldn't accept him. You know, we used to go to a restaurant. If people saw him sitting in a restaurant, they'd get up and leave. Or if somebody come in and they saw him there, they'd ask to be put someplace else, and they didn't want Rick in school. They didn't want us in road races or nothing. And now the whole world wants us to be over there competing and being with them.
What is it like for Team Hoyt to be so well known now and so famous, I guess?
Well, it's just unbelievable, because, you know, when Rick was born and when Rick asked me to run in that first race, we never expected to be running a marathon and doing a triathlon and running and biking across the United States and getting invited to all these different countries. It's just amazing what has happened. And it's a good thing, because it's helping people all over the world. And now there are, in Michigan alone, there's 25 chapters that are doing what Rick and I have been doing for 34 years. There's also one out in San Diego. It's called Team Hoyt San Diego. And then they're in Arizona, they're in Texas, they're in Tennessee, they're in North Carolina. There's another one called Team Hoyt Virginia Beach. And now we just started one, it's Team Hoyt New England. So it's growing, and it's going to get bigger. As a matter of fact, we got a call from Japan. They want us to go over there and start doing what Rick and I have been doing for 34 years.
What is it like to run all these races with your son?
Well, if it wasn't him, I wouldn't be running all these races. I'd probably be a couch potato. Who knows? To me, he's the athlete, and I'm just letting him borrow my arms and my legs, because he can't control his arms and his legs.
Is it ever overwhelming to you, the response that you get from everyone?
It really is now, yes, it really is. I mean, the things that have happened to us. This past year we had the live bronze statue that was unveiled a week before the marathon, and it's in Hopkinton, right near it's only about 400 yards away from the start, and we're actually looking at the start. And then we just got inducted into the Marine Corps Marathon Hall of Fame. We just won an ESPY award, which is the top sports award of the year. And it's just amazing to go there and us to be on the stage and see all these professional athletes, and they were in awe of what Rick and I have been able to do, you know, throughout our racing career. And also with the World's Championship Ironman Triathlon out in Kona, Hawaii, there's only been 24 people inducted in the world into the Hall of Fame. Well, Rick became 25 and I became 26. And then we just had Men's Health magazine come out with the 100 fittest men of all time. And I finally beat Rick, because I was 24 and he was 25th.
What was it like to do your trek across America?
That was unbelievable. You know, everybody said that there's no way we could do it, because I go was to do it in 45 straight days without taking a day off, and everybody that had done it before. But see, we're the first ones in the world to do all these things I'm telling you about. And they said that that was impossible. They said you have to take at least a day or 2 days off a week. Well, Rick and I thought just the opposite. We thought we could get stronger as we came across, and we did. We finished it in exactly 45 days without taking a day off, and it was 3,770 miles. And after we finished that, we ended up going up and did a triathlon the next morning.
Who is your favorite celebrity that you've met along your journey?
Oh, favorite ones, I'd have to say President Ronald Reagan. He was just awesome, and Bobby Orr, you know, and right now I'm good friends with Chara, who's the captain of the Bruins, and you'll hear more about that during our presentation. But Ronald Reagan, Rick and I were out doing the World's Championship Ironman Triathlon, and we're the first ones in the world to do that too, and nobody's been able to do it the way we do it since. And he called me up. He was in Boston, and he called me up on the phone. But we were out in Hawaii, and he left a message saying, Nancy and I, we usually don't watch the whole Ironman Triathlon, but because you guys were there, we stayed up and watched the whole thing. And he says, if I'm ever in Boston again, I'll give you a call, and if you're ever out in California, give me a call. So Rick and I were doing it. We had the Cerebral Palsy convention out in California, and Rick was speaking at noontime, and I was speaking at night, so we called him up, and we went in and visited him, and he was just so awesome. It was unbelievable. I even stole some of his jelly beans.
Okay, I think that's all we're going to have time for today. But
I think you got
so
enough.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Yeah.